Martin Hyde.
Good afternoon. My name is Martin Hyde. I had told you before about doing business math publicly. You know, I don't come here and talk about ballet, and you guys should not be talking about business math. But let's start with facts. Bobby Jones lost $800,000 this year for the taxpayers of Sarasota. Its participation is only 9% by city residents. Therefore, the subsidy can't be justified as a return on lifestyle for city taxpayers. The proposal is to borrow close to $20 million to improve the facility to encourage more play. The cost of the borrowing will immediately increase the break-even point to approximately double where revenues are. Doubling the amount of rounds played is, as the report says, improbable in a sport with potentially declining participation. Increasing the revenue per round played comes with the attendant risk of lost volume, like any other enterprise. To get from the current just over $2 million a year to the just over $4 million a year break even would require you to take $40,000 a week more for 52 weeks of the year. Seeing as the game is highly seasonal, that's impossible. So in truth, it'd mean close to $100,000 a week more for 16 weeks of peak season. To get $100,000 a week extra revenue would mean $15,000 a day, which divided by essentially two primary courses will be $7,500 per day, 7 days a week for 4 months in extra revenue. That'd be 150 players extra per course per day at $50 each, 7 days a week for 16 weeks. That's nearly 40 groups of 4 playing at 7-minute intervals on each course, extra to what there was this year in peak season. That requires over 4 more hours of available starting time when in the peak season, it gets dark at 6 o'clock. This is the reality and why it not only won't work, it can't work. Takes me to the question of whether it's also appropriate or desirable for a municipality to use tax revenues to create a facility that the private sector couldn't possibly contemplate. It's the very definition of inequity to spend other people's money to create an advantage over private organizations, and exactly what antitrust laws are there to prevent. It's not your fault, but none of you has any track record of investing or creating a competitive business, so you tend towards the naive range of the scale in terms of believing that everything is possible if you want it enough. In the real world, those of us that actually have participated in such projects know that we have to work within the parameters of what has been done with others, by others, elsewhere before. The fact is that nobody in this country is undertaking such a massive investment in municipal golf because the math doesn't work. I like golf, but most of our residents do not play at Bobby Jones. If we borrow $20 million for this course and embark on a plan that literally has no chance to work financially, we might very well be faced with, in more difficult economic times, losing the whole facility. I'd implore you to go back to the drawing board on this last time, lest you end up with it being another part of Bendersonville because you saddle us with a debt we can't repay. Thank you.